Right, Shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and double honors unto the apostles and elders at GreatMillStone, and honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. And I just want to respond to this guy who supposedly, all right, according to what he said, has amputated his leg, and him and his friends ate it in a taco. All right. And, this just shows you the perversion of Christianity and the madness, because according to Christianity, except for maybe one or two denominations, all meats are now clean to eat. So based upon that, then human meat would also be clean to eat. All right. That's just the reality. If you're saying all meat is clean, then all meat is clean. It's as simple as that. All right. Now I'm going to read the article. And I don't know whether this guy is making this stuff up or he's doing it for attention. But, we in a wicked-ass world. So you can't put nothing past, these people out here. But I'm going to just read it as it is and take it as it is. And then get edification from the scriptures based upon it, okay? All right. So if it comes out later, it's a hoax, and I don't want to hear nothing, okay? I'm using this as simple edification for the scenario. It says, I taste like buffalo. Man cooks amputated leg into taco feast for friends. An anonymous Reddit user claims to have cooked up part of his amputated leg and served it to a group of friends in a taco feast. The shocking revelation is being backed up with a series of stomach-churning photos. Reddit user Incredibly Shiny Shot made the unimaginable admission in a thread entitled, Hi all, I am a man who ate a portion of his own amputated leg, ask me anything. So this dude's an attention seeker. Alright? He's an attention whore. Offering some background to the incredulous confession, he explained that he chose to have his foot amputated after a motorcycle accident 2 years ago left him unable to walk. After signing the appropriate paperwork, he was allowed to bring his limb home from the hospital, where he made the bizarre decision to cook up his own flesh and share it with friends. And you got images here and blah, blah, blah. Initially he invited 11 close friends to join him for the chance to ethically eat human meat. It's meat. All but one accepted. All right. And they cooked it up, blah, 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 blah. Now, see what these Christians have done. I'll come back to this. They mainly base their notion that the dietary laws have been done away with by our Lord, which is a complete blasphemy, based upon Mark 7:19 and Acts the 7th chapter. Now we know Acts the 7th chapter was a parable alluding to the Israelite foreigners, i.e. Cornelius and the men that he sent to Peter, that they would be made clean through the gospel. We know it wasn't actually talking about meat. It was talking about men, and to be more particular, Israelite men who had made themselves unclean by going after the way of the Gentiles. All right, so we already know Acts 7 doesn't back up eating pork or eating anything that is unclean. So the main one they go to is Mark the 7th chapter and the 19th verse. Now, when you read the account, what the Lord was rebuking was the wicked Pharisees and the traditions which they had built up outside of the law. All right, and they were trying to get at the apostles for not washing their hands when they eat, before they eat, which is not against the law. All right, the law contains laws on unclean meats and certain other laws of uncleanliness, but it doesn't say anything in particular about not washing your hands before you eat. And then so the Lord pursued to cut them, because while they were trying to get at the apostles for not washing with their hands, assuming it would defile them, they themselves had evil hearts, man, and committed sin. They were a bunch of hypocrites. All right, and if you read it, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. You'll see that's exactly what the Lord was talking about. All right, so when you go down, and we're going to read from verse 17. And when he was entered into the house from the people, his disciples asked him concerning a parable. So it was a dark saying that the Lord said to them. And he said unto them, Are ye so without understanding also? Do you not perceive that whatsoever thing from without entereth into the man, it cannot defile him, because it entereth not into his heart, but into the belly, and goeth out into the draught, purging all meats? That which cometh out of the man, that defileth the man. For from within, out of the heart of men, proceedeth evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, murders, thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All these evil things come from within and defile the man. So what he's trying to show them is a man is defiled from within. And that evil mind you have causes you to commit sin. But what people don't understand is eating pork is a sin according to the Bible. So it's the evil mind, it's your evil mind being defiled from within, all right, which is trying to get you to justify eating pork, which is a sin according to the Bible. Because what is sin? Sin is transgression of the law. See, if you understood the scriptures, you would know what the Lord was talking about. It says here, whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law. Now, when you go to Leviticus 11, I believe, it gives you the dietary law. And if you break the dietary law, you've committed sin. It's that simple. All right? It details the clean and unclean animals. It's that simple. All right? Now, let's go back to Mark. Show how wicked these people are. Now, once you get the understanding what the Lord was talking about, he wasn't saying all meat is clean. He was just breaking down what the root of sin is and how that applied to the Pharisees, because they were talking about washing your hands and trying to rebuke the apostles for it, which is not a sin according to the Bible. Yet they themselves, their minds and hearts were defiled. All right, from within, which leadeth to what? Sin, transgression, as the Lord detailed, evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, all that comes from within you. Your actions come from within you, just like eating pork. When you decide you want to go to the shop and buy bacon, even though it clearly tells you in Leviticus the 11th chapter, you're not supposed to do that, and then you try and justify it and make it good, that's out of your own evil heart, man. Your mind is defiled. Now, let me show you something. When you go to, and like I said, when you go to the interlinear and the translations comparison, pretty much all the comparisons outside of the King James version, has brackets added on. So if you go to the NASB, at the end of the verse, it says, thus he declared all foods clean. If you go to the NLT, it says, by saying this, he declared that every kind of food is acceptable in God's eyes. That's blasphemy. Add into the word. The RSV is all good. NIV, in saying, when I say all good, I mean in this verse. NIV, in saying this, Jesus declared all foods clean, going off. ESV, same thing, going off. The Spanish one won't have that in there, I don't think. Actually, it might do. Let's have a look. I need to. The RVR60. Poor K, doesn't that mean please? Yeah. Yeah, so they go off in the Spanish Bible. No wonder. All right. CSB, same thing. ASV, same thing. Okay, the BBY and HMV keep it real. The Vulgate keeps it real. Webster's keep it real. That's an old school Bible. YLT keeps it real. NET goes off. All right. Now this brackets here isn't in the original manuscripts. This is added in as an interpretation, which is going off, which is against the law, which is against the Bible, which is against truth, and it's blasphemy. But based upon this that these devils have put in there, this guy that ate human meat ain't going off. And guess what? I'm going to say this. There ain't no difference between eating human meat and pork and eating horse and eating camel and eating tiger. Yeah, the only reason why people look at like eating a tiger or a monkey as something crazy because you grew up in a society where people don't eat it. They eat pork and other things. But on it, ultimately, a food is either clean or unclean. And unclean is unclean and clean is clean. So if you, no matter what food you're eating, if it's unclean, it's unclean. And eating one unclean food and not eating another unclean food doesn't make you no better than anyone else. It's unclean. So you could eat, one man could eat tiger and another man can eat pork. It's both unclean. It's both sin. There ain't one which is better than the other or worse than the other. It's unclean. Point blank period. Now for you Christians, understand this, that these animals that are declared to be unclean are not evil animals. Like a horse is not an evil animal. A pig is not an evil animal. A camel is not an evil animal. These animals have uses. You can use these animals. However, they are unclean to eat, and they've been unclean from the very beginning. Before the law was given to Moses, these animals were unclean. That's why when you go to Genesis, the 7th chapter, and this is way before Moses, it's a Genesis 7:1. And the Lord said unto Noah, come thou and all thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. Of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee sevens, the male and his female, and of the beasts that are not clean by two, the male and his female. So the Lord always had clean animals and unclean animals from the very beginning, and so shall it be forevermore. Let's get Ecclesiastes, man. You people are being real demons, man. But like I said, according to you Christians, you could eat human. That's what you're teaching. You could eat human because all meats are clean. All food is clean. Is that not food? He ate it. It's food. Ecclesiastes 3 and 14. I know that whatsoever God doeth, it shall be forever. Well, guess what? The Lord put a separation between the clean and the unclean. He put a difference between the holy and the unholy. Nothing can be put to it, nor anything taken from it. So you can't turn around and decide because you like eating bacon that pork is clean. Pork is not clean. Prawns are not clean. Yeah, catfish is not clean. Now, if you want to eat it and acknowledge that it's sin, then at least do that. At least admit that it's a sin, but you like doing it anyway. You'd get, I mean, you ain't gonna get no respect for that, but you'd be like, all right, at least he's admitting that he knows he's doing wrong and he's just doing it. Don't turn around and try and make a wrong right. Because that's what you Christians do. You try and make it right. That's even worse. When you're trying to make it right. No, there's no making it right. If you're going to do it, at least admit that it's wrong. God damn, you even got murderers out there that'll murder a guy and admit, yeah, I was wrong for murdering, man. You guys try to justify everything. Right? You don't even want to admit that it's wrong. Come on, it's in Leviticus, the 11th chapter. It's clear. All right? Yahushua didn't eat no unclean meats, man. He was without sin. Are you not supposed to be striving to follow his example? Yet you gonna make it righteous to eat pork have pork all up in the church when you don't even have to. You could have had lamb. You could have had anything else that's clean. There's so many clean animals that you can eat from, but you got to just have the unclean ones. You could farm all different animals, but you got to farm the clean ones. I mean, the unclean. Come on, man. Not anything taken from it, and God doeth it that men should fear before him, man. So the Lord set up the unclean and the clean from the very beginning. These animals are unclean, are inherently unclean. They were made that way from the beginning, and they're always going to be unclean. And the animals that are clean were made that way from the beginning. They were made for that purpose, to be clean, to be eaten, to be offered as a sacrifice. All right, the heathens used to offer unclean beasts on their altars, man. All right, that's why when Noah came off the ark, he offered up clean beasts, man. The scripture says you got to put a difference between the profane and the holy. This is Ezekiel 44:23. And they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and profane, and cause them to discern between the unclean and the clean. But they're not doing that in Christianity. They don't want to discern between the unclean and the clean. They don't want to put a difference between the holy and the profane. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.